Marvel Studios and the Russo brothers have just announced that Avengers Endgame is coming back to theaters in September of 2026. And they tease this in a very, very specific way that I think is actually genius. And I think it's actually necessary for Avengers Doomsday. There are four main reasons Marvel is doing this, but I have to say, I really do think this was very well executed. We'll go into the first one right now, which is, of course, marketing. We're going to get more into marketing in a bit because to understand the true marketing behind this, we have to go into the second reason they're doing this, and that is to become the highest grossing movie of all time, to reclaim it from Avatar. So if you are not aware, Avengers Endgame was the highest grossing movie of all time. I do have the numbers here. It was the highest grossing movie of all time until Avatar re-released in theaters. And a lot of people thought that was kind of cheap. You know, Avengers Endgame didn't re-release in theaters. It didn't have that extra boost for money, but Avatar did it and reclaimed the title of the highest grossing movie of all time. As it stands right now, Avatar has made $2.9 billion, $2.92 billion. Avengers Endgame has made $2.79 billion. I did the math on my phone, and the math is pretty close. 124 million is all Avengers Endgame will need to make to beat Avatar to become the highest grossing film of all time. Once again, they're going to do that. That's really not that hard to do, especially for Avengers Endgame. And I have to say, going into Avengers Doomsday, claiming that Avengers Endgame, the last big Marvel event, is the biggest movie of all time is pretty genius. They need to hit that because it's part of their marketing plan. They're going to say things like, from the people who brought you the biggest movie of all time in the entire world in all of our lifetimes. It's pretty good marketing. But also, like I mentioned, the Russo brothers, they were so specific with what they released, the video that they released. You watch it, and they say you're going to want to turn this up, and they show the crowd. It's not just a clip of Avengers Endgame. It's a clip of a movie theater reaction to On Your Left, Captain America, Avengers Assemble, the giant fight. And what they specifically say is, you remember this feeling, you love this feeling. What they're doing here is genius. They're trying to transfer this feeling into Avengers Doomsday. And honestly, it's kind of working already. For me, I'm super excited that this movie's coming back into theaters. But of course, this is coming out a few months before Avengers Doomsday. When you go see that and you relive these feelings, and the Russo brothers are like subliminally telling you like, hey, remember, you love this feeling. You really, really love this feeling. Do you remember that nostalgia? And that in turn, once you remember the experience, or for those who maybe didn't get to see it in theaters, now you can, you're going to get so excited again. And of course, the next thing you're going to be excited about is Avengers Doomsday. It really is quite genius. It really is. They're basically just transferring feelings that we had for Avengers Endgame over to Avengers Doomsday. At least they're trying to the best that they can. Obviously, it's not going to be the same, but actually, we don't know what the marketing is going to be like completely for Avengers Doomsday. They could do some crazy stuff. This is already just genius as it is. So they're going to re-release the movie in theaters. We're going to capture that feeling again of how much we loved Avengers Endgame, and that's going to transfer over to Avengers Doomsday, and it's going to get a lot more people to go see the movie, I believe. And also at the same time, for the marketing, they're going to be able to say, hey, Endgame is the number one movie of all time. So from the people who brought you that, here's the next big one, which is going to get a lot of people excited as well. So that feeling brought into the marketing is genius. Becoming the highest grossing movie of all time, just genius. I think it's brilliant. Now, there are two other very important reasons Marvel is doing this, but first, big thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. I think most of you know that I use Factor and I love Factor because they make eating healthy quick and easy, but most importantly, the food is delicious. And now they've added even more options like different seafood options and different Asian cuisines, and they all taste just absolutely fantastic. Factor is just a complete win. Instead of spending hours a week meal prepping, Factor arrives fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle. And if you're busy like me, Factor is a game changer. They take the time out of prepping and make it easy to eat healthy. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. All tasting great. I personally love Italian, and their different pasta options are fantastic. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. They even have wellness shots as well. Make eating healthy easy with Factor. To get started, go to factormeals.com/CosmicWonder50 off and use code CosmicWonder50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code CosmicWonder50 off at factormeals.com/CosmicWonder50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. So reason number 3 is that there are going to be connections that we see in Avengers Doomsday to Avengers Endgame. The Russo brothers have already confirmed this. They already said that the events at the end of Avengers Endgame are going to connect to Avengers Doomsday. So a lot of people have specifically been looking at the Iron Man snap, Iron Man dying, and really just that whole event in general at the end. And probably even Natasha Romanoff dying as well, because we've heard that Scarlett Johansson is going to return as a variant of Black Widow. Fingers crossed, I hope she does. But the Russos have confirmed that there is going to be a pretty big connection between Avengers Endgame and Avengers Doomsday. So they're basically just giving us a refresher. Hey, you got to watch this again. You got to remember what happened before, because it's going to actually mean something in the new movie. So it sounds like you're going to have watched Endgame at least one time to know what happens in Doomsday, in which I'm pretty sure a vast majority of the people would have watched Endgame going into Avengers Doomsday. At least I would hope so. But hey, if Avengers Doomsday is like your first thing to Marvel, cool. You might be a little confused if you go and rewatch the MCU, but still cool. Now, the fourth reason is perhaps a side of caution for Marvel Studios. They're gauging the audience to see who shows up. How do people still feel about Marvel? We have heard so much about Marvel fatigue, superhero fatigue. We've heard all that for years. That we've heard it since Avengers Endgame. So again, I think it goes back to that feeling. Marvel is trying to gauge how much they can actually capture that feeling once again. And if it's kind of lower than they expected it to be, I believe that they're going to up their marketing campaign from September to December when the movie comes out. And then from December to when we get Avengers Secret Wars, right? Because Avengers Doomsday has the potential to become the highest grossing movie of all time. But if it's amazing and doesn't achieve that goal, Secret Wars can do that. With Doomsday being amazing and setting up something crazy for Secret Wars, and then marketing just goes crazy for that year in between, Secret Wars definitely has that possibility. Actually, both have the possibility to become the biggest movie of all time. Secret Wars could dethrone Doomsday to do so. And I think Marvel right now, with everything that they're doing, they're setting it up so perfectly for Doomsday to be a success. This is genius. Releasing Endgame once again, it's so genius for all the reasons that I listed. So kudos to Marvel. In all reality, I think this is just one of the best moves that they could do right now. And hey, I'm excited to go see Avengers Endgame in theaters once again. It was a crazy great experience, and I'm already feeling that excitement I felt for watching it in the theaters the first time. It's going to be crazy, but let me know what you think about this. Do you think it's a genius move or not? And are you excited, and will you go see Avengers Endgame in theaters? Again, let me know in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel and Avengers Doomsday news. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.